Hi Yogis, welcome to your winter yin sequence. Today's class, we are just going to nourish the body with some poses to help our bodies through this winter season. And if you have to shovel any snow, or if you just find yourself more cold and maybe hunched over a little bit more, we're gonna do some poses to open up your upper body. All you'll need today is yourself, your mat. If you'd like, you can use a blanket. You might be cold, so you just want to use something to keep yourself warm. You can use a pillow or a bolster, and if you'd like, you can have a block handy. You won't necessarily need a block, but it's just nice to have as an option. And then most importantly, I recommend that you get into something comfortable. So if you want to wear your sweats, your pajamas, maybe some cozy socks, go get whatever you need and we'll get started. All right, we'll begin in child's pose. So take your legs as wide as you would like. Walk your arms forward. You can stretch them long or just let them relax down onto your mat. Now, as you settle in, if you've practiced yin yoga with me before, then you can feel free to tune me out. Otherwise, welcome. We do have plenty of other yin yoga practices on the platform where I get into a lot more detail about what to expect and what yin yoga is and all of the benefits. For today's class, I'll be talking a lot less, just letting you enjoy the postures. But I just want to give a gentle reminder that for each pose that we do, on a scale of 0 to 10, you want to keep the sensation no more than a 5. Really, a 2 to 4 is your sweet spot. So we are seeking mild to moderate sensation in each pose. And it might not necessarily be the most comfortable sensation, but as long as it's not painful, it's not burning, you don't go completely numb, then that's okay. Yin yoga isn't necessarily meant to always be comfortable. We're trying to work deeper beyond our muscles to get into our joints and ligaments. So feeling some dullness, some achiness, all of that's normal. But if something ever becomes too much, please know that you can adjust, back off, or come out of the posture altogether and simply lay on your belly or your back. And even right now in your child's pose, you might notice that as you hold here, maybe you start to feel more sensation or less sensation. So you can play with maybe walking your toes apart a little bit. Maybe you bring your legs a little wider, or maybe you do the opposite and you bring them a little closer together. With every pose we do today, I don't want you to be afraid to explore. This is your body, your practice. For your last few moments here, see if you can soften your body a little more. There's no special breath that you have to do here. Just simply try to relax your muscles. All right, yogis, I want you to slowly crawl yourself all the way out onto your belly. And you can just rest your forehead on your arms or your cheek down to your mat. All right, from here, we're gonna come into Sphinx pose. So I want you to come onto your forearms. And if you'd like, you can always take a blanket and place it underneath your hips, just for a little extra cushion if you're on a hard floor and it's uncomfortable, but it's totally optional. From your Sphinx pose, you can keep your gaze lifted, you can look up, or you can let your head drop down. You can even play with curling your toes under. It's really mild added sensation. Or bend your knees. We are going to be here for a few minutes, so take any variation you need and know that you can always come back to your starting position. Before I forget, yogis, if you have any shoulder problems and this is just not feeling accessible to you today, I want you to take a bolster, pillow, or roll a blanket, slide it under your upper body, and let your arms and upper body drape over it. So it's just a lot more mild. If that's still too much, I want you to come out of this all together. We're gonna do another little back bend later, so you'll be able to get one in. All right, yogis, from here, you can stay in your Sphinx pose or plant your palms into your mat and extend your arms for seal. And if you are taking seal, you can play with walking your hands a little closer towards your body too for more sensation, or further out for less. Just know that you don't have to take this. You can always stay in Sphinx. Or if you've just had enough of this back bend altogether, please come down to your belly. We are holding each posture today for an average of 3 minutes or so. But just because we're doing that doesn't mean that you have to force anything and stay with it. Remember, pain is not the goal here. Just mild to moderate sensation. Maybe a dull ache or two. Slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Again, resting your forehead on your forearms or cheek to one side. All right, yogis, slowly lift yourself up and press back into child's pose. We have Penny making her yoga video debut today. And I forgot to mention this, yogis, but as we come out of each posture, make sure you do so slowly and carefully, because it's normal to feel really stiff afterward. All right, we're gonna come into melting heart. So I want you to come into a tabletop position, and your hips can be slightly back as if you're gonna go into a child's pose, but you're gonna stay here and then walk your arms out long and let your chest and your forehead come down between your arms and rest onto your mat. If that becomes too much for you, yogis, please just come into child's pose. At this point, you might be feeling some sensation changing. So feel free to take your arms out a little wider or walk them out a little further, or maybe take a little tension off and bring them a little closer towards your body. Slowly start to lift yourself up and press all the way back to child's pose. But this time, bring your knees together and walk your arms down by your side to release your shoulders. Slowly start to lift yourself up. And just come to a seat. I will turn to face you. We're going to take a dragonfly series. And if you'd like, you can have a block nearby, but it really isn't necessary because I don't want you to feel that you have to force or purposely do anything here, but I'll show you. What we're gonna do is start with one leg in and one leg out. And we'll be getting both sides, so don't worry if you're starting on a different side than I am. But if you'd like, it is optional. You can bring your hands behind your head as if you're gonna do a sit-up, but tilt over to the right, the leg that's extended, and you can rest your elbow on a block here, just to get some nice lateral flexion on the left side. If you don't have a block though, you can still do this. Just hang heavy here. We won't be here too long, so don't worry about it. And even in a posture where it might feel like you're being a little bit more active, try to relax your jaw, soften your shoulders, relax your seat and your quads. And don't worry about what your arms look like. If they end up kind of drooping, looking a little funky, that's okay. We don't go for pretty yoga when we're practicing yin. All right, slowly lift yourself back up. We're going to do this on the other side. So extend your other leg, bring the other one in. If you're using a block, move it to the other side. Fingertips behind your head, lift up, and then tilt down. Slowly start to lift yourself up. And you can move the block away if you were using it. We're going to come into a full dragonfly. So extending both legs out wide. And if you feel that it's difficult to simply just sit up in this position, then I want you to take a blanket and fold it just once or twice. You don't have to fold it a lot. And just sit up on it. And kind of sit towards the edge, just to help give you a little bit more support in your pelvis. And that way it'll make coming forward just a little bit easier. But remember, on a scale of 0 to 10, we're not seeking out a ton of intense sensation. So if normally in your vinyasa practice or just your day-to-day, you go right for this, your chest is flat on the ground, we want to try to back off from that a little bit. And if maybe you notice that when you're practicing yin, this pose feels more difficult, Maybe when you are doing power yoga or you're just stretching after a workout, you might feel like you can go a little deeper. That's normal because your muscles are warmer and you're really targeting your muscles when you do this stretch. But in yin yoga, because our bodies are cold, it's 100% normal for the pose to feel more difficult. That means you're doing it right, I promise. As you hold here, I'll break the news to you that we're going to be holding it a little bit longer than some of our other postures today. So if you end up needing to put any cushion under your heels, because sometimes your feet might start to tingle, feel free to do so. You can roll up a sock, put it underneath, or another blanket, or maybe even play with rolling your feet away from you or in. Feel free to change up the sensation in your position whenever you need to. And then once you find that sweet spot, try to close your eyes and relax into it. You might start to notice with time that gravity does its job, and maybe you become a little heavier. So allow that to happen. Allow your upper body to sink down a little further. Slowly start to lift yourself up Take your time. And you can use your hands if you want to help bend one leg and the other. And just lean back and take a gentle windshield wipe from side to side. All right, we are going to come into shoelace. You can stay sitting on the blanket if you'd like, or you can put it in front of you so that your ankles have something to rest on. Sometimes it can feel a little hard for your bottom ankle, especially if you're on a hard surface. What you're gonna do is take your right leg, cross it over your left. Your knees will be more or less stacked. It's okay if they aren't. It's okay if there's a big gap here. As long as this is okay for you to hold, I want you to sit up and then slowly walk yourself forward, rounding down any amount. Feel free to put a block in front of you, or blocks or pillow, anything you need, and you can relax your head. If this is too much, just take your legs a little wider apart, and then you can do more of a stacked shin, or have your right shin in front of your left shin. So you have options here. Slowly start to lift yourself up. And again, gently, gingerly move on out. And if it feels okay for you, come into a reverse tabletop for a moment. So lower down. Give your legs a gentle windshield wipe. So then we'll take shoelace on the other side. So your left leg is now on top. Again, just take a moment, see how this feels. It's okay if it's maybe feels easier or more difficult on this side. You have choices. You can take your legs a little wider, stacking shins, or bring your left shin in front of your right and then round down. Slowly start to lift yourself up And again, gently uncross your legs, and you can press into the reverse tabletop. Lower down, windshield wiper your legs. Okay, yogis, you can move your blanket off to the side for now, unless you are using that in place of a bolster or pillow, in which case if you are, roll your blanket up just to give you a little bit more height, because we're going to be sliding it underneath our sacrum, just below your tailbone, and coming onto our backs. Just take a moment, move the pillow or bolster around, find your comfortable sweet spot, and keep your left knee bent and lift your right leg up. We're going to come into half stirrup, which is half happy baby. So you can grab the outer edge of your right foot or just grab the back of your right leg. And then from here, if this is feeling okay, you can extend your left leg out long. Okay, slowly release your right leg down to the ground. Bend both legs again. And then we'll take half stirrup on the other side. So bend your left leg. Reach either for your foot or the back of your left leg. And then if it feels nice, you can extend your right leg long. And gently release your left leg down to the ground. And we're gonna come into a mild supported bridge pose. So you can keep both legs bent or extend one leg and then the other. And then if you want to add a little upper body into this, reach your arms overhead. If your legs are extended, slowly bend one leg and the other. Keep your bolster or pillow underneath you. And we're going to come into seagrass. So just send your legs straight up to the sky and let your pelvis tilt forward a little bit towards you. So don't worry about having your legs perfectly straight up. Let them be heavy. And you might notice they move a little, sway a little, just like seagrass. Slowly start to bring your legs down to the ground. And then gently lift your hips up. Slide your bolster or pillow out. And I want you to roll all the way onto your left side, coming into an easy twist. So from here, just start to open your shoulder up towards the sky. And you can stay here, or if you'd like, bring your arms out wide. Slowly start to come back to your left side the way you came, bringing your top arm back around. And then roll all the way onto your back. Just take a couple breaths here. And then roll all the way onto your right side, taking your easy twist on this side. Start to come back the way you came. And then roll onto your back. And then setting up for your final resting pose, you can grab your pillow, your bolster. You can use it as a pillow or slide it under your knees. Feel free to grab a blanket, cover yourself up. I just want you to get as comfortable as you can. And once you find your Shavasana, just close your eyes, soften your jaw, and I will guide you out when it is time. In your own way, begin to bring movement back into your body. And when you're ready, roll over to either side. And with your eyes closed, take your time to press yourself up into a seated position. Once you are there, bring your hands to heart. Bow your chin to chest. Take a moment to thank yourself for being here today and for taking this opportunity to nourish your body. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.